Good morning, Commissioner. I'm here. My name is Augustine. I'm here to give my time over to Bhairavi Desai.
Okay. Bhairavi Desai.
Thank you, Augustine. Before I start, may I just say, I know you named, Commissioner Joshi. I know you named, I believe, both Fausto Luna and Roy Kim, and I want, I also wanted to just express our condolences again to both of those families. But I also, on behalf of Taxi Workers Alliance, wanted to express our condolence to the family of Mark Hardikoff. I remember him well from when we first started organizing in this industry, and he's always a real gentleman, and he was one of the people that really listened fairly to drivers, and we were really saddened by his loss. So good morning, everybody. My name is Bhairavi Desai. I'm the executive director of the New York Taxi Workers Alliance. I know that it's gonna seem like we're asking you to basically do the impossible. Like, everybody in this room, in this industry, understands that the state passed a law, and the Taxi and Limousine Commission, as the regulatory agency, has to take guidance from that state law. But what we want to say to all of you is that on the day that the state passed the law, like, a lot of us in this room, we were on the steps of City Hall, literally the same day. We were on the steps of City Hall with 4 coffins laid out in front of us. Nicanor Ochasor had just died, and we were out there, mourning our brother and raising a spotlight on the devastation that has impacted this workforce across this industry. On the day they passed it, 4 suicides. Today, there have been 8 suicides. I know, Commissioner Joshi, you know this well. I know you've already testified that the implementation of congestion pricing as it stands, it is going to absolutely devastate the yellow cab industry. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. And I don't think it's enough to even say that the 75 cents and the 250 need to be equalized. It's not even enough to say that the rate of fares need to be equalized. The bottom line is the yellow cab sector has to be exempt from this surcharge. And we're not going to give up on that fight. We believe that Albany, their eyes and their hearts can be open to the plight that is unfolded for this workforce since the day that they passed this rule up to today. And what we ask you as our regulator, as an entire, not just to our chairwoman, but to the entire board of commissioners, is take and, act with your conscience and stand with us. Don't have a quorum at your meeting when you have to pass this regulation. When we're out there in front of the governor's office, stand with us. Ask our governor to show us mercy. Ask him to show mercy for our elderly driver brothers and sisters who in their 70s are out of retirement and back to work. I can't tell you the shame that I feel when I see somebody who's 75. We at the vigil for Roy Kim in Flushing, we had a Korean driver brother who said to me, I'm 72. I had been retired. I'm an owner driver. He came out of retirement and is now back to work. The number of our brothers and sisters in their 60s who think they will never see retirement in their days. I mean, it is such a devastating, crisis in this industry. In 2009, when the MTA 50-cent surcharge was passed and it was on yellow cabs alone, the livery sector was exempt. And it was exempt because Albany at the time said, one, they did not have a proper means of regulating the collection, and number two, that the bases were small businesses and they wouldn't be able to take the hit. Well, since then to now, the yellow cab sector has contributed $1 billion to bail out the MTA. Even if this, devastating fine, really, that it's a punishment. They're punishing the victims of congestion, and they're giving a loophole to the perpetrators. And by the way, for anybody who has an ounce of doubt that this would be devastating to the yellow cab sector, there's only one company you need to ask, and that's Uber Technologies. Because on the eve, right before this agreement was made as to the amounts, I believe Augustine yielded his time. But, when on the eve when this vote was, when it was taken place, Uber and company, Uber alone, as reported in courts, lobbied spending $100,000 for this version that passed. Okay, they know this will be devastating. When 90% of yellow cab trips, 90% of yellow cab trips, over 90%, are going to be in the affected zone, number one. Number two, you're going to be losing ridership. Forget it. Whatever tips have somehow managed to miraculously survive after Uber and Lyft have destroyed the tipping culture, with congestion pricing, it's going to be completely destroyed in the yellow cab sector altogether. They know that. They know that they got themselves a loophole of 75 cents while their biggest competitor is going to have to charge $2.50. They also know that since 2017, they no longer charge the passenger with transparency of distance and time on the receipt. We have submitted to the TLC 1,000 UberX trips, which detail for you how much the passenger was charged under upfront pricing, how much the driver was paid, which of course is at a much lower rate, and how much that same trip would have been under a yellow cab, green cab meter rate. On average, per trip, UberX trips today under upfront pricing are 8.9% higher than the yellow cab meter, but nobody would know it because it's a Wall Street finance $100 billion operation, to misguide the public into still believing that somehow they're cheaper, and they get away with it because of that money, and because they're not under regulation, and because there's no transparency required of them as to what they're actually charging. So they're, within loopholes, they've managed to get additional loopholes as far as congestion pricing is concerned. And deep in that abyss is where a workforce of 100,000 people are falling into. There have been thousands of bankruptcies and foreclosures already. By February, there are going to be thousands more. People are going to lose their entire savings. And so we say to you, stand with us, be our voice. Nobody has the first-hand witness testimony that you as the Taxi and Limousine Commission have. Nobody knows more the $1 billion these men and women have contributed with their sweat and labor more than you. Nobody knows more how devastating this is going to be. Nobody knows more the phone calls you're going to have to face from drivers who say, I'm about to be homeless. I'm feeling desperate. What do I do? The governor's not going to answer that call, but you will. Tell them that, and tell them you don't have an answer. Because when this happens, you won't have an answer. We haven't had an answer up to now. There is no way we're going to have an answer for something this devastating. This isn't about bike lanes. This isn't about neutrality. This is about people literally living, reaching a point where they can literally live, where they could survive. I have gone from being a labor union activist who is talking about livable incomes to living workers. This is so shameful. And you can be our voice of conscience. You are our witness. You are on that front line with us. You can help us tell that story to Albany. It is not too late.
Thank
We
you,
can still
Bhairavi.
fix this.
Thank
We
you
can
so
fix
much.
it. But we can't fix it without you. I also have written testimony.
Thank you. Yes. Nikolai Hent is the next speaker.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Chairman, for letting me speak. I will start with the congestion price. Do you have control over the 120,000 app cars like you have on the yellow drivers, or yellow medallion? Second, carpool. What's mean carpool? 1 passenger, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15. That's second question which I address you. I don't think you have any of them. I don't think you know what's mean carpool. Will be 75 cents for 1 passenger in the carpool, or for 4, or for 5. What will gonna stop the app cars changing their mind, saying, we don't have an individual trip, we have carpool. In the spring, in the City Hall, Chairman, you testify, we have to get control over the app cars. Same said Governor Cuomo before he passed when he passed the 250. Until August, you said, Chairman, we don't have any authority to stop the mess. Now, from August to now, did you do anything to correct this? To get control over the app cars? I don't think you did. But you did send us the email you're going to enforce the 10 hours rules. I think it's something you have to think about. Second, how many Afghani freedmen you will create with this self-recognition of the app cars and the congestion price? You had the chance to stop Afghani freedmen in the first month. You could lock up his company meters to every cars. You didn't, because you didn't care about the 50 cents because that's state, but you're supposed to care about the 30 cents, which start in 2013. So I think that's your problem and your guilt. Hopefully, you're not going to let this happen again with the 250. And I will say this to any garages, yellow taxi garages: don't pay the 250 until you will going to have 100% control for all 120,000 app cars. That should be equal for everybody. Not somebody give him a chance to steal and somebody rip him off. Suck my blood. I don't know how long I'm going to be alive, but I had enough of this taxi limousine commission. Once you had control of the yellow taxi, you're supposed to get control for other cars too, but you didn't. Good luck.
Is Seydou Ba?
Good morning, Madam Chair. My name is Seydou Ba. I am a member of New York City Taxi Worker Alliance. My comment today will focus on the pricing, surcharge pricing. Driving taxi in New York today has become one of the most difficult work to do these days. And it is costly to driver and the passengers. It costs time and money to both of us. Narrowing street down to one lane traffic, I don't think is consistent with reducing the traffic or the congestions in the city. It is almost impossible now to drive on 14th Street or 25th Street because all the streets are being narrowed down. That's not a big problem. The biggest problem is that there is no right or left turn on neither of those. If a driver got on this street, you have only two options. If a passenger held you, you either refuse or you take the passenger who is going to east to go all the way to 10th Avenue. in order to be able, if you're going north, in order to be able to go east, which are both illegal according to TLC rules. If you take a passenger on 14th Street, you have to go south first, which is also going out of your way, which is, by the way, also illegal by TLC rules. You go south, going out of your way, take a narrow street, one lane. If a driver is dropping somebody, everyone has to wait. If a garbage truck is picking up trash, everyone has to wait. If a car has to make a turn, everyone has to wait. And the passenger is losing time and money. The driver is going through the same at the same time. Are we really asking that passenger to pay another $2.50 in addition to his time and his money lost already? Going out of your way, for example, from 14th Street to 12th Street, you're going out of your way, trying to cross. That will cost the passenger $5 already. Not going to where he or she is going, but out of your way, which is illegal. I believe you should join us on this. Join driver on this. I believe you should do that. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Victor Salazar.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's a pleasure to be back here in Taxi Limousine Commission in front of you all, guys. Unfortunately, and this crisis, I must say it's not that great, you know, and briefly explain to you, I bought a medallion 14 years ago. And before buying a medallion, it took me about 11 years to actually achieve the purchase of a medallion, and that is commitment. And many of our brothers and sisters who have purchased medallions are not even purchased driving a DOV vehicles or just simply driving in New York City. A New York City yellow taxi medallion is a full commitment. It's a life commitment. For us especially, you know, we take it very seriously to serve the city of New York. And I personally believe that the city of New York always, you know, that they have the moral obligation to protect us, to protect our commitment that we've been serving the city of New York. This is very important for us. We heard so many testimonies today that should move our conscience, you know, to guide us in the right direction. And I personally think that the congestion pricing is going to bring misery and instability to all drivers in general, especially to the yellow taxi industry. And it's no surprise that for the last 5 years we've been going into this crisis, and everything began in Albany. Albany is the cause that we are in these particular circumstances, right? It surprises me that Andrew Cuomo stated so many times in his campaign that recently that he is going to fight Trump, that he's going to definitely have the solution to fight Trump. And but he is no difference. To us cab drivers, he is the Trump of New York State. He is literally making laws to drive us to death. More suicides, most likely will happen if this implementation comes through. I think it is not rational. The decisions up there in Albany is completely distorted. And we believe that, like Bhairavi Desai said before, you have the moral obligation to protect the city of New York, those drivers who have that commitment, who continue to do so. And that's pretty much what I want to say, that I will definitely hope that you pursue this, you know, this with conscience heart. And that's pretty much it, what I want to say.
Thank you. The next speaker doesn't give a last name, but I think I know who it is. Bill?
Somebody put my name down. Maybe they can't spell my last name. I think appropriate soundtrack for this meeting might be an adagio by Albione or Samuel Barber, or perhaps even Verdi's Requiem, because I think this ill-conceived congestion pricing plan will destroy the industry. Will destroy the industry. And of course, if the industry is destroyed, it might destroy Cuomo's presidential ambitions, among other things, which might be a good thing, I don't know. So I urge you, mentioning classical pieces, I urge you to think of Tchaikovsky's War of 1812 Overture, you know, or Prokofiev's Alexander Nevsky. Be aroused. You know, it's time for war. You have to, I don't care what the law says your powers are, you have to go up and scream in the governor's face. You have to scream if necessary, because this will destroy people. And it's not fair to New York City residents, even though some of them maybe live on Park Avenue or Tribeca and make a lot of money. But you're just asking maybe the average passenger who regularly uses cabs would have to pay like $100 more a month. That's ridiculous. And how is the cab driver ever going to get a raise? Our last raise was 6 years ago. Been inflation since then, boys and girls, right? How are we going to get a raise? Because we're a cash cow for the city. Poor driver, they don't get any money. This is absurd, ludicrous, horrendous. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker also has no last name, but the name here is Lalji. No. The speaker after that is, sorry.
Hi, my name is Lal Singh. Okay. Good morning, everyone, Taxi and Limousine Commission and all the audience. I want to finish quick. Not only Uber, not City, Taxi and Limousine Commission is responsible for all 8 drivers did suicide. City as well responsible for the 8 driver suicide. Governor is responsible as well. And what is 250? I thought everybody, they are good speakers, but I have a different idea. This is the pre-plan, put us out of business, send to their death, and maybe they have a commission to be where they're selling the box to the coffins to be put us and they're taking the commission. Okay, I have no money to buy the car. Okay, I wish not to keep driving the old car. Thank you very much, you guys giving me one more here. And I have no money to pay my property tax. I go to lose my house. Okay, and we have no place to go. Okay, you guys are responsible. All the bankruptcies, all the suicides. Okay, please, if you guys stop beating the dead horse. We have no more energy. We cannot, I'm 62-year-old. I don't mind to 10 years be working every day, 12 more hours. Please, okay, don't bring this 250 and many people they lose their father. Many women, they will lose their husband. And you guys at least lose the honest driver. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is
Yes, my name is Michael Wong. Okay, I got only a few things to say. Okay, one, as a concession, we are paying 80 cents for every trip. Now, Governor Cuomo want to add on $2.50 on top of it will be $3.80 total. Now, the fare, passengers don't want to jump into the fare for $5.80, right? Additional on top of it, when we paid $3.30, at the end of the income tax, we'd be paying a total at least $12,000 a year.
Are you saying that your
The
income
$5.80,
tax
yeah.
includes the surcharge?
Yes,
Your 1099 form will include the surcharge?
right.
Okay, I think I know Commissioner Sorrentino is very familiar with tax law, and we would certainly be interested in looking into that.
Right. Also, I understand as when we give you questions, okay, you get the question and then you try to answer it, but it's a bunch of cover-up between the city council, between the TLC, and also Governor Como. They're all pointing out fingers on each other about the concession. Now, the concession is not the driver only. I would think it was 100% Uber causing the traffic, but it's not really Uber causing 100% traffic. It's maybe 50%, but it's the city, it causing all the traffic because you got the bus lane, there's 2 bus lanes now, and then you got the bicycle lane, you got the island lane, and then you also got the construction and the car park on the side. And the Governor Como just want to blame it on the driver. Governor Como don't drive, he got his, I could say another way, he got a clown driving him around the city to see what's going on, but Governor Como not driving the car, he don't see what's going on the city, especially the bus lane on your law that we allowed to pick up a passenger and get off the bus lane. Now, it's no longer that we cannot pick up passenger on the bus lane because the police are right there waiting for you to jump in that red lane and then write all the drivers up, you know? Especially as like I say, Roy Kim, I was the one that reported what was happening to him. Nobody didn't know he suicided himself. You know, especially, I know there's an investigation, but there's one more thing I want to say is, FBI will jump into this manner about those 8 drivers that are coming in. And especially, I know there's a lot of cover-up. I'm working on that case myself too. But the FBI will step into this case. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Saibu Sidibe, or Sidibe.
Hi everyone, my name is Saibu. I'm a Uber driver. I used to drive Yolo from 2002 to 2014 when I switched to Uber. And I'm a proud member of New York Taxi Worker Alliance, who's been fighting for all drivers. So I'm here today to just say one thing, you know. We know the governor passed the bill, but we want TLC to give the fact to the governor that since the law passed, 4 more drivers killed themselves. And maybe the governor don't have the fact. And also, TLC has to show the driver how many drivers filed bankruptcy, how many drivers lost their home, how many drivers even have been evicted from their house. You know, they don't know this, so you have to tell them. But additional tax will bring them to death. You know, that means a yellow cab driver will have like $5.80 when somebody get inside his cab. Just who's gonna believe this? Like you just get into the cab and you see $5.80. You didn't even go nowhere because they're having $3.30 taxes. So let them know we don't really need that. Please tell the governor to help the New Yorkers. These drivers, we are drivers, we serve New York, we serve the world because everybody's coming here for everywhere. Every morning we wake up from 5 to 6. We don't even see our family. So we're thinking about, you know, bringing our dream here. So tell him to do something. He's a governor of Democrat. New York, all these drivers, most of them vote for him. So he has to understand that making this, applying this tax in January will bring more drivers to suicide. It's not only a yellow cab, but the world's gonna suffer because when you get inside, you see the mirror. But for the other companies, there's no mirror. So the rider is okay. He doesn't, maybe he won't even know that he paid for this tax. But what about the yellow cab drivers? vis-a-vis one. Because I'm saying that I'm driving Uber today, but who knows, tomorrow I can go back to yellow. This is how it is. How many here switch from Uber to yellow or from yellow to Uber or green? So we are all the same. So do something, tell the governor. I know he's falling hard, and if you give him a strong statement about how New York drivers are suffering, I think instead of bringing more tax, he should do something like to help this medallion owner or all the drivers. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. And the next speaker is Muhammad Ali Awan.
Good morning to all commissioners and all people who just came here today for this hearing. I want to say, like, this is not a conjunction pricing. What is the conjunction? First of all, you have to explain why the conjunction in Manhattan is not only because of like the volume of the car, it's also because of the dumbest traffic plan ever imposed on New York City. And also it's never-ending construction in Manhattan. That's the reason of conjunction. At the name of conjunction, they're just extorting this money. It's just pure extortion. It's not a surcharge, it's just pure a robbery to the drivers, to the public. And the yellow cab, I'm driving for yellow cab for 21 years. I never see anything like that. Last night, 2.5 hours, I didn't have fare. And I was keep watching like the black cars are coming, like the Uber and Get and Lyft, and they keep picking up because on the click of the button, they are just appear over there. And they keep roaming around. From all 5 boroughs, they just come back to Manhattan below 96th Street. And that's the only area left for yellow cab, you know, because the DMZ line was drawn by TLC or whatever the government was below the 96th Street. It's not enough area for thousands of yellow cab. That's not enough business for us. And now with this conjunction price, I don't think so anybody will be take the yellow cab anymore. So at least just we have like a moral, like, you know, clarity. Don't call it surcharge, just call it extortion. That's it. And just like, you know, I want to ask the question, like, did TLC or the government of, like, you know, the New York City ever did anything good for any beneficial programs for drivers? No. You know, we don't have any medical benefits. Like most of us, we don't have any medical insurance because, like, we are above the bum level but below the poverty level. So we cannot just apply for, like, you know, insurance. When you go to apply for insurance, they say like you have to pay the thousands of dollars, you know, for this medical insurance. So instead of the telephone number you give for, like, you know, you should just like, we should make the sticker for, like, you know, the suicide prevention hotline for the cab drivers, because that's what I see the future of the yellow cabs.
So we did in 2012 try to stand up a health benefits and welfare benefits fund for drivers. There was a 6 cents added to every trip that went into a fund. A state court judge ruled that the agency didn't have the jurisdiction to create a health care benefits fund. My understanding is City Council is very poised to pass a bill that would give us that authority, and then we would have the ability to create a health and welfare fund for all drivers.
We are thankful for that, Commissioner, and all the people who just work for us a little bit, like, you know, so that will be very beneficial for the drivers. So please just like bring back that 6 cents and like help our union to do something about it, and like some other benefit programs. And this just like, it's making no sense. The yellow cabs are there to just reduce the congestion so people don't have to drive their cars into Manhattan. And if we start charging this, nobody's gonna take the yellow cabs because they're gonna go simply to the app companies because it's cheaper and convenient for the public. So there's nothing left for us anymore, you know? So please just like don't impose this taxation or false surcharges on the yellow cabs at least, because we are already like, you know, shrink to the below 96 area. It's less than 10 square miles area of the working left for us, for thousands of yellow cabs, you know? So please do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Ahmed Hassan.
Good morning, Mr. Commissioner and everybody. All I like to say, we are here more than 50 years, the yellow cab industry. We are not making the congestion. All the other cars like Uber, Lyft, and all other app bases, they are making the congestion. We are not the congestion. And this is like, seems like to me, I am a medallion owner. I am in a ship, have lots of hole and water getting inside. Now this is 250, is a big hole, so I can drown, sink right the way. Instead of rescue us, you are putting more weight on us just to kill. If you want to, I'm asking to the Mr. Mayor and the governor that if he want to kill us, that's okay. Then he should explain everybody that we want to kill the yellow cab drivers. That's okay. Then we know that what he is doing. That's my question, and thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is a Malhotra.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon, TLC. We love you. You are due to be as a godfather for special taxi industry. But these days, you are not doing as even stepbrothers behave with us. So, so I'm sorry, I'm speaking first time. So give me pardon. I am talking on behalf of my all owner-operator brothers. So I have been driving a taxi since 1993. I bought the New Jersey medallion in 2010 for, excuse me, $650,000. I spent $130,000 as a down payment. We owner-operators bought the medallion for our better future, not for the bankruptcy. Albany, please say no congestion pricing on yellow and medallion taxis. We already dying by the current situation. We are hardly making money for a living. Our previous pounds did not heal yet, which was given by not letting our mayor to have the ride-sharing vehicles 2 years ago. Consequences from that, they flooded the New York City streets. They blocked the streets while they wait for passengers. Our income went down to the bottom. Even their own drivers are struggling to make living. Us most drivers have 4 or 5 household members. To raise them, excuse me, we at least need minimum $150 to $200 savings. We already going below 150 savings per day. Imagine if congestion pricing 250 charge by the taxi, when our meter will start from 580. I don't think most New Yorkers take taxis. If this really happen, that must lead us more and more owner-operators toward not only bankruptcy, also them to may you see more and more suicides. In future, you can charge the ride-sharing company congestion price. They did not pay any dime to do our e-hail rides in New York City. They have too many tricks to lower the congestion price from passengers from 270 to 70 cents. So please, Albany, you should do a contract with TLC to find out why drivers suicides, how their families doing after their deaths. So not an easy for family to, excuse me, to survive after when men have had a holder died. You need to know how much taxi drivers' income went down after the ride-sharing company arrived in New York City. Please, we are from the situation to help struggling. Please, you must help the situation to help struggling taxi drivers. Please talk with mayor who you can help us to give us life-saving bailouts. Then maybe maybe continues able to support our families. This way you can help us to avoid the bankruptcy. There are too many our friends already did bankruptcies. I want to tell you one thing. When one medallion bankrupt, it means that honors all family, excuse me, all family life ruined. May they their kids unable to go to colleges. So please think again to help us to remain to provide our families' needings. We are living in world's best city, in best country, New York City, who is known to help needy peoples. So we are getting help in New York City here even. So I can explain one thing. These current situations bring our financial crisis on us. My mother died 2 years ago. I could not went to her funerals. Same situation with my friend. So his mother and sister is on the bed. One his sister is paralyzed. His mother is brain hemorrhage. He have no money to go to India to visit them. So this is our situation. Please help us, bail out us. So we thank you so much for giving us time. So even with this new 250 surcharge, my friend Radev Singh, I encouraged him to buy the medallion. He talked with me, maybe he have to find the solution to bankruptcy because when it will start, there's no way we can survive, no way we can start. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Richard Chow.
He just stepped out to take a phone call. I'll get him.
Okay. We'll go to the next speaker.
Hello, my name is Richard Chow. I'm driving. Thank you for giving me opportunity to speak today. Thanks for Mayor Rishi Commissioner and all the Limousine Commission and all the audience. So I'm driving for the cab for 12 years, and now we facing a lot of congestion. The problem is not only the yellow cab. The yellow cabs not increasing in about 12 years before I driving. So only the increasing, the congestion, the traffic, like Uber, Lyft, the traffic, what's it? The construction, the container, the parking, the delivery truck, the UPS, FedEx, all of the things that are making the traffic. Not only the yellow. The yellow cars are all moving. They cannot stop on the street. They get to move around. After you drop off, you get to move. It's not traffic congestion making the traffic. So now the governor, the Albany, collect them to yellow, the congestion price. This is totally unfair, I think. So, we are working hard, family. I raising the 2 kids, and then we have to collect the congestion prices like $2.50. So we lose a lot of short trip. And then next year, we lose more from my pocket, like 15% from my pocket to the Albany. So it means we lose more business. So this means that nobody taking the yellow cab, very expensive. So we are not agree to collect from the yellow cab. In London, the taxi yellow cab, they are not paying the congestion price, the yellow cab. So New York City not should be also. So my point is, if you collect the congestion from us, so we already have we bought the medallion. I bought the medallion in 2012. I paid $400,000. So I pay a lot of payment bank to the mortgage. So far we have now the interests are raising. So we have a lot of payments are more higher. So we facing more from my income pay back to the loan, the interest. Now we'll have lose more business because of the former Mayor Bloomberg left behind the problem. So we give the Uber and Lyft, collect the city, they give them to the like a free medallion to pick it up on the street. This is totally unfair to us. So now that they sold it, the medallion, I buy the medallion, they make the profit. Now we have medallion prices are under the water, so the city, and they should be, the responsibility for the, we lost, like we're suffering every day. We lost a medallion price. We cannot pay back to the loan on time, a lot of problem. So now we got collect the congestion price is totally not fair to us. And then, so if they still collect from me, we have the problem, we pay back to the loan. Already the loans are not approving, the banks are not approving to me, so I cannot pay back the loan. The bank asked me, oh, you got to give me the amount, then more higher, I cannot pay. Because we already working hard, we don't have a business less and less and less. We take a little money to going home. So I think if the Ebony collect the congestion price, we are suffering. I'm very, very, very depressed already. So maybe the next, I'm the number 9 suicide. I want to tell you. So this is today is my brother Kenny Chow. It's a birthday to my brother Kenny Chow. So we are suffering. We are I'm already very depressed, and then I'm struggling with my brother loss. Now I have to take care of myself. But if the government, if the Albany collect the money, maybe I cannot pay back. I'm very a lot of pressure already. So maybe I'm the next one. Nobody know. So after me, maybe a lot of people are lining up. So I want to before the government, the Albany collect the congestion price, I have to against the plan. So please, Commissioner, send my message to the Albany. So I'm already very disappointed to collect from us the congestion price. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming here today. I know it's a difficult time to share, and it's a difficult topic for you to share on, but your advocacy is important, and I appreciate you speaking publicly. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Andrew Chen. Excuse me, the next speaker is Wayne Chin.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to speak in front of the Commission. I'm a member of the Sea Walker Alliance. Also happen to be a friend of Kenny Chow. And before I start, I want to start prayer for all brothers that lost. And especially very sad because it's even been Kenny's 57th birthday today, exactly today. And this plan, will destroy the yellow cab industry, and also all the other drivers, they will have a loss income because the app company, they will surely manipulate their price. They pass on to the driver, so they will make less income. And also for a yellow, we had a set price. We're going to lose some business with the government plan. So I'm totally against it. So I hope they exempt the taxi from the surcharge, I mean the congestion price, unless they change the commission change the rule, set the minimum fare like yellow, so it will be even competition and fair competition for the city or the riding public or the driver or the drivers. I hope the governor will listen to us, change the law or exempt for us, because our work, most of the yellow cab work in the city area, so it will affect a lot of us. And I know we don't want to see any more drivers suffering or dying, So I hope the commission, come to a fair solution for all the drivers, at least make all the minimum fare the same. So regulate the app companies so they cannot manipulate the system or the law. Right now they are manipulating all the system, so they had to regulate so they cannot be taking advantage of, of the system. Right now their fare is not regulated, so they can lower, they can high, they can charge $10, they can charge $100, and then the congestion pricing, they will pass the cost to the driver, because I have friends driving for Uber too. I know how they work. Their system is not transparent. They charge the customer higher price. They compensate them for lower price. And then on top of that, they take the commission from them. And then the driver has to pay for all the expense, insurance, gas, and vehicle repair. So they are taking less money home, for sure. So I hope you regulate the app company to be fair and square for everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is MD Islam. Okay. Next on the list would be Edward Castellanos.
Good afternoon. I'm coming to talk on behalf of me and my father that we buy a medallion in 2006 and we'll see the property decline for so much competition in the street. I'm trying to survive with me, my father and my sister. All of us, we are working together to try to survive and pay all these expenses that are coming out. And so far we are finding that it's difficult, so difficult that if there's another surcharge on that, on the taxi industry, we will definitely gonna have to file for bankruptcy because we cannot take it anymore. A lot of places I used to stop by and wait for passengers, I see them jumping into black cars. So I don't understand why, if there's only 13,000 taxis and there's over 100,000 black cars, why this surcharge has to be on yellow cabs? If the ones making the congestion are black cars. So there's also no place to park, no place to go use the bathroom. Sometimes you have to use the car. Inside the car, the people in the back seat smell that, so they think you are a pig, but they don't see that is the circumstances in which all of you had put us. That's why we have to do it, because there's no other place to do it. So please, I beg you, I'm doing this for my father because I see how he's suffering, my sister and I, we are trying to fight to survive to get this team on floor, but I see this deeping and deeping gone. So I don't know what else to say. So anything you can do, maybe if the bank and there's a problem with the bank and the owner, if you can split that property and give this license plate for this to work and the license plate to the bank, that's they really help. That will be really helpful for me and my father. Other than that, I don't know, I really don't know what to do at this point. This is breaking point for me and my father and my family. So I please beg you, please do something to help me and my father in this situation, and all the drivers that buy that property that you sold us at one price and now is worthless. You go take it someplace so they can take care of that property, worthless. Nobody wants. So we are like this with that property. No, we cannot do anything. Okay, so please, I encourage you to help and resolve this matter for all these guys. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Bernardo Celerio.
Bernardo Celerio, good afternoon. I'm a taxi medallion owner since 1989, and we are facing the worst time ever. At the point that what I paid for my medallion in 1989, $135,000, is more or less the market price today. It's a shame. None of your houses, commissioners, is worth the price of 1989. Most of you, like everybody else, can enjoy a booming economy in New York City. The Dow Jones is 10 times more today, 12 times more than it used to be when I purchased my medallion. This is terrible. 7 people commit suicide in the industry, and 1 over is 8. How many more suicides you guys want to see? It's too much. Commissioner, I have a personal feeling, and I want to make it public, that you don't love my industry. I feel that for some reason you don't do anything to help my industry. You're just sitting there getting $200,000 a year, and that's it. You have been under the Bloomberg administration, I perfectly remember, under David Yaski, when he was a commissioner, and they started the attacks systematically to my industry. Mayor Bloomberg said very clear, I don't want to repeat the word because everybody knows, but I will destroy your F industry. That was his words. And you are under his administration when that happened, Commissioner. But you never raised your voice to say, come on, you shouldn't say that. No, like everybody's, they're working together to destroy my industry. For the only reason that my industry was not destroyed yet is because still, until August of 2018, almost 300,000 New Yorkers went to the street to say, taxi! That's why. Not for you guys, no. Because 300,000 people say that. But now, they found a way to tell maybe 50% of the New Yorkers, hey, don't take taxi anymore. So we're gonna raise $2.50. That way we're gonna make sure they don't say taxi anymore, okay? That is exactly what's gonna happen. The Taxi and Limousine Commission does not give an accurate information also in the website. According to Caroline, how many people took yellow cab in the month of August?
253,000 trips.
How about the month of September? Do you have the number already?
It's the same.
It's published already.
No, actually September isn't. It's the same as July.
From what I understand, September was not published yet.
Right.
October also. November is gonna finish in a few more days, we don't know. On January 1st, maybe 75 to 90,000 people are not gonna take taxi anymore. But the Taxi and Limousine Commission report is gonna be in June of 2019, when it's gonna be too late. Credit unions and banks are not gonna wait 6 months to send letters of foreclosures or things like that. So guys, I beg you, send a letter to Albany. That is your historical compromise at this point. You have to leave office one day saying, hey, at least we did something. Show a letter saying, Albany, stop this for 2 years to see what's gonna happen here. At least for 2 years. And then, if in 2 years the price of the medallion goes higher and we can raise maybe 350,000 trips a day, maybe we can talk about getting some surcharge. But today, it's very important not to approve that and request to Albany, because at this point, I don't know if the meeting today has any point, since you guys cannot request Albany to stop this. Because if you guys cannot send any letter, what are we doing here? The law is gonna be effective January 1st, and we need a letter to Albany and say, stop, don't do that. You're gonna have thousands of bankruptcies. If you print out from the TLC website how many medallions are in foreclosure, it's gonna be shocking. You have 2 pages of transaction, and maybe 95% of the transactions are foreclosures, and only 5% are being sold by a market price that was in 1989. I don't think it's acceptable. And by the way, may I have your name, Commissioner? I cannot see from here, sorry. Bill, congratulations. I saw the way that you reacted when somebody was talking, and it seems to me that you have a piece of heart. I saw the way you reacted, and I'm not that sure about that. However, I see what you did. That's why I directed to you. So if you have a chance to talk to your peers later, urge them, especially the commissioner, to write a letter to Albany saying, we do not approve this. Eventually, if Albany still passes that, you guys are gonna come to history and say, hey guys, we tried to stop them, but they didn't listen to us. At least something is better than nothing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. The next speaker is Robert Faria. Okay. The next speaker is Prodi Kunalu or Kundu. Is that you?
Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to to raise my voice. It's my right to speak to you. So, I came in America with my American dreams. My dear friends, everyone has aimed to fill up his dream. That means better life, better education, better housing. But today, I see, we are we're breaking down our dream. I bought my medallion 2006, and also I'm operator. Today, we are in crisis. Today, we are talking about the congestion fare 250. Already, we are in congested. When I came, Uber, Lyft, something like this, another car in the city, already we are stuck. We are stuck our business, we are stuck our family, we are stuck everything. And then again, new stacking congested fare, it is going to be new. It is going to be news for our debt. So please help us family, help us or my family. Thank you so much. That's all.
Thank you.